What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode, another week of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about a bizarre Battlefield 6 feature could end Conquest games early, even if you're still fighting. So we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Battlefield 6 dev discusses why he thinks the game will be more successful than Battlefield 2042. I don't think that's a big thing. One was a complete game and one isn't a complete game. I don't know. Battlefield 6 might not be a complete game, but it's probably more complete, and that's why it would actually be more successful. We're also going to talk about Microsoft faces tough choices as Xbox price hike explains amid the tariff pressure, which is so much bullshit because we've talked about this. The boxes that are already in the state are no tariffs. Like, I went to the store, they're there. They shouldn't raise in price, but we're going to read that. And then we have a video we're going to watch from the real-life fake wizard talking about video game industry lies about tariffs. Okay, I saw that the other day, and I was like, you know what? That would be a perfect opportunity to put that up and discuss that as well. We're also going to talk about, we got a GTA college history class. Okay, so we're going to look at that. And then we're going to talk about Nintendo. Argues mods don't count as power or proper games as Pokemon versus Palworld lawsuit continues, which we talked a little bit about last week. So we might not talk about it this week a little bit. We'll see how much time we have left in the show, but we'll read it, discuss it a little bit more just in case people forgot about the lawsuit. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern, Monday through Thursday, like I said. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. The music that plays before the show, if you like it, or you'd like to help support the show, you can go download it. You can go stream it. You can go just listen to it. All the links are in the description down below. It does help us out here. More people that watch it or, listen to it. Just like regular artists out there, you can purchase the album or you can listen to it. And every time you listen to it, it gives us fractions of pennies, but it still helps us out in the long run. So I appreciate it very much. What's going on, chat? What's going on, Sarge? What's going on, El Nini? Welcome. Altern, good morning. Travis, Eclipse, Jason, good morning. Who am I missing here? Kylo, good morning. Water Bear, good morning. JM Ford, what's going on? Robert Jones, Jesse Ward, what's going on? Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone had a good weekend. I had a busy weekend. We went to this convention. It's a home show that comes twice a year or whatever. So we liked going over there and whatnot. Good morning, Cool Bama. Right? And then when we were over there, my wife's like, hey, why don't we go check out the new Epic Universe Hotel? I think it's called the Helios, right? And I was like, all right, cool. So we were going to go over there and drive over there, but to park there for 30 minutes at the hotel because Epic Universe or Universal doesn't want you parking there to stay at the hotel. They want you to stay at the hotel. So they push you out by saying, if you want to park here after 30 minutes, it's going to cost you $165. That's right. You didn't mishear me, right? If you're not staying at the hotel or going to the park, right? Because all we wanted to do was go look at the hotel. They wanted $165 to park at the hotel. And we're like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And then there's another hotel across the street, but when you say across the street, it's like a half a mile, okay? They wanted $65, okay? $65 to park. So I was like, I ain't going to do that. I was like, so my wife, she's like, I want to see it. And I was like, all right, what about if we just park down the street, which is a mile and a half down the road, and we parked it at like a Chick-fil-A, and then we walked and walked and walked and walked. It took us 35 minutes to walk to the hotel, and then it took us 35 minutes to walk back, which we don't care because exercise is exercise, so we're okay with that. But it was just funny. They do it so on purpose that they don't want anybody walking to the park, right? It's this beautiful sidewalk they built. This must have spent millions and millions of dollars, right? Beautiful off of Kirkman Road. If you guys have ever been to Orlando, Kirkman Road's a very busy road. There's like Sand Lake, Kirkman, but it goes right into Epic Universe and whatnot. So we're the only people walking on this sidewalk because no one's in the right mind to walk on the sidewalk because they would take a bus or whatever, right? There's this giant sidewalk, but instead of going directly to the hotel, they make it go up, and then they make it go this way, like a half a mile. Then you have to go this way for a quarter of a mile. Then you have to go back this way for a half a mile. And they make it so absurd and make it so ridiculous that they don't want people to use this sidewalk or they don't want people to use anything. You can't take buses from the other hotel because one hotel doesn't go to the next hotel, but they all go to the park, but you can't use the park unless you... I was just like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, we get to the hotel, right? We get to the hotel, and we're like, Like, you walk in, and I shit you not, the hotel's about the size of... I mean, it's a giant hotel, but the what do you call it? The lobby, the hotel lobby. We walk in, and it's like, I don't know, 2,000 square feet of just like this empty. If you guys ever go to hotels, you know, you walk into the lobby, and it's like, if you stay at a hotel, like a Disney hotel or something like that, it's a really nice lobby. You walk into this one, it's just kind of like, But the back view, looking in, the whole back walls is like glass. Let me see if I could bring it up. I didn't take a picture because I didn't give a shit. What was it? Universal, Epic Universe, Helios? I think it's the Helios Hotel. Yeah. Let me see if I can get some pictures here. All right. So we didn't stay there. We didn't stay there, Ron. Right. So this is the hotel, right? This is what the hotel looks like. This is like, you know, it looks nice, right? Like it's a nice hotel, right? Like this is what the hotel looks like. Like now we're not staying here. We just walked there. Here. We wanted to just look at it. Oh, it's a commercial. No. Right? We just wanted to look at it. So that's the hotel, right? The lobby is just kind of, do they even show it? Yeah, that's it, right? You walk in, okay, and it's very tiny. It's a very tiny like lobby you walk into. Yeah, here's a picture of it, right? You walk in, there ain't much more past the sides of this picture here, right? You go to the left side, there's like a restaurant, right? This thing right here. Right? There's like a restaurant. Yeah, that's it. That's the lobby. That's the entire lobby. And this is a wide angle. Okay. So there's like a restaurant over here. There's like a small little like, I don't know, pastry place over here. And then on the side that you're looking at where the camera is where the check-in desks are. But then you have that back window there, which overlooks the park. Right? And I was just like, holy Christ. Do you guys want to guess how much rooms are at this hotel? Right? This is the hotel. Okay. Do you guys want to guess how much the rooms are at this hotel? Not right now. Right now they're on sale. But guess how much a standard room is. Morning, Wonder Rose. What's going on, Worlds? Ron? All right. Guess how much a room is at this place. This is why, as locals, we kind of just like walk around and check it out first before we like. Right? Water Bear says $750 a night. Sarge says $650. Ford says too damn much. Okay. It's a good guess. Good guesses there so far. Good guesses. Jesse says $950. Travis says $500. Altern says $1,000. Ward says $800. All right. I'm going to put Ward's up there. Ward is the closest one. $840 a night. $840 a night. Right now, they're doing $480 because it's the slow time. Okay. Now I don't know what the rooms look like. I don't. I guess we could look at it here. I don't know what the rooms look like. I mean, okay, they don't look very like amazing. They're like thematic and whatnot, it looks like. But it's crazy. I think it would be cool. I mean, the benefits of staying at this hotel is you get to go into the park early. Again, we're not going to the park yet. But yeah, you get to experience the park before everybody else. So you stay in the hotel, and then when the park closes, you can stay in the park, I think, later because you stay at the hotel. Everybody else, because the only way to get to this park, there's a parking lot, but most of them are all being shipped in from City Walk. Like, you park at City Walk, and then you get bussed over to the place. Like, I had to say, it was a nice walk to get there. It wasn't a really hot day. But when we got there, I was just like, eh. Kyle says, Grand Helios does seem very nice, though, but the hotel prices are insane. You do pay for a cool private entrance to the park. Right. And that, I think, is the coolest part of the thing if we're going to stay there. So me and my wife were talking, okay, if we do stay here, we're like trying to plan a whole trip, right? Because if we're going to go there, we might go on like a Friday, go to the park, stay at the hotel Friday night, then go in Saturday early morning, make it like a whole thing. But it's got to be on a discounted price, $840. I don't know if that includes. I don't think that includes the ticket prices for the actual park. So, Kyle says any hotel that's not an All Stars Resort at Disney are absurd prices too. Even those prices, Kylo, are pretty high for like the All Star or the Pop Stars or whatever like that. Yeah, we're gonna go to we're gonna probably go in the next year and a half because my son's 11. He's still not liking all the thrill rides and stuff. And Universal's got a lot of thrill rides. So if you're gonna go to Universal, you might want to have your kid enjoy, or majority of your party that's going to go on thrill rides, right? If they don't like roller coasters, then you probably don't want to go on stuff like that. You know what I mean? We're trying to benefit of, like, right now we still have annual passes for Disney, which still works, which we went to Disney last weekend. That's like one Xbox console. That's true, Travis. It's either go to the park or go to the hotel for one night or pay for an Xbox for the 5-year-old Xbox. Yeah. Speaking of that, let's jump into. Actually, we're not going to jump into that yet. I actually want to talk about this weekend. I've also played Skate, right? So Skate, EA has Skate Online or whatever it is, right? So me and my son have been playing Skate this weekend, and I enjoy it because I really like the Skate series, Skate 1, 2, and 3. And we were looking for Skate 4. They said, we're not making Skate 4, they're making Skate. So they made Skate, and they had this open world type of thing. Think of it as Forza Horizon, right? Like Forza Horizon 5, but with skateboards instead of cars. Okay? So you get to go around this open world that looks like they're going to expand more and more into it. You do some different tricks and different lines, as they call them, and you go around and you do tricks and stuff. You can just free skate along, okay? And when I was playing it, okay, as Travis says that they made a roll simulator, yeah, you could just roll the entire time. Or you could, like, slide on your belly and stuff like that. But what's really cool about it is that me and my son figured that you could basically go anywhere you want, right? So if there's a building, you could climb the buildings. You got to find, so there's like puzzles type of stuff to figure out how to get up the buildings. So we were on this one tower, and then we saw this crane next to us, and we're like, hey, I wonder if we can get up to the crane. So then we got up to the crane and started doing tricks, and you could like skydive off the thing, and it's all part of the game, right? So it's pretty funny. And then we looked up and we saw another crane really high. We're like, well, let's see if we can go there. So we got to the building, and then you start climbing the building, and it kind of reminded me, if you guys watched us play Grounded 2, when me and Sarge and Luke were playing, and we were trying to climb that garbage can to get to the top or whatever. That's what this reminded me of, right? So we got to the building, and then we had to find a way to climb up the building. We found a way to climb up the building. Then we got up the crane, and we finally got to the top. And then you can start doing tricks and stuff, so you can really just go anywhere you want to do whatever you want in the game. And then as you do lines or as you do missions, as they are, you unlock different cosmetics and whatnot, and then they do have a paid cosmetic type of stuff as well for a bunch of stuff. But I gotta say, it does feel good to skate majority of the time, we didn't even skate in a game called Skate. We were rolling, doing stupid things. We were sliding. We were doing skydiving off the stuff. And I was just kind of like confused by the whole thing. I was like, this is Skate. Oh, and by the way, the characters look like they're the Sims, right? EA obviously owns the Sims. They've created the characters, and they almost look like Sim-esque type of characters from the Sims. Really kind of weird. But anyway, so as we're playing, like, obviously it's in beta, it's in preview program, it's not out yet, so they still have a long way to go before it's, like, complete. So it is kind of weird. You will see people that you could just roll, right? Like, literally roll, and you roll faster than you actually skate. So they got to do something about that. You can also, like I said, skydive, and while you're skydiving, you can either, like, actual skydive, so with no parachute, though, so you just hit the ground and whatnot. But there's a, like, maximum velocity where you put your arms to the side. There's put them out like you're actually skydiving, which kind of slows you down. Then there's the halfway type of thing. You can build ramps wherever you want, and other people can use those things. And then if you don't want to use them, you can delete them in your game. So they'll be there, but like translucent, so you can go through them. It's very interesting what they're doing. It almost seems like they're just making Skate a lobby, not really a game. Do you know what I mean? So if you ever played like the VR headsets for like Let's Chat, or I forget what that thing is called, or even Fortnite Lobby, okay, that's what it feels like. Like, you get into the game of Skate, and everyone can skate, everyone can walk around, everyone can do stuff. You could talk to your friends, right? But it's not like it's Skate. Like, you could do missions, or you could do anything you want. And it's just kind of weird. It's like EA is trying to make Skate into like this, I don't even know, like a lobby, like you're going to the park with your friends and just bullshitting and like, hey, like, let's skate a little bit type of stuff. It's a very weird thing. It's fun, but it's fun for like a small time frame. And maybe I'm 47 years old, right? My son's 11. He's like, I like playing Skate, but I don't actually like skating and Skate, which I think is a major problem if everyone's doing everything else, climbing and skydiving and rolling, and they're not actually playing Skate. But it's interesting. Check it out if you can. It's free. It's open. So obviously there's microtransactions and stuff inside there. But it just seems very strange the way they've created Skate, where before it was Skate and you would do skating things. But this, they've kind of made it into a lobby where you could do a bunch of different things and skate. But there you go. Check it out if you want to check it out. Kyle says, seems like a lot of skate companies didn't support the game much. There's not a lot of licensed apparel in the game, and mainly generic stuff, which is disappointing. Maybe they, excuse me, maybe there is, Kylo, but because it's in preview program, they haven't added it yet, and they're just kind of like, I would assume it's generic to earn stuff, like non-branded apparel. And then if you wanted apparel that you want to purchase, you would probably have to pay real money for it. That's what I'm going to assume. But I haven't seen much of it yet. I didn't look into the store. I was just playing the game, seeing how it felt and whatnot. I have to say the onboard, the tutorial, teaching you how to do it is actually pretty good. It teaches you how to do the tricks. There's a whole book inside the game to tell you all the different tricks, how to master. So it's easy to pick up, to skate, but it's hard to master. Right, so there's a lot of stuff there. So if you are skating in the game, there is a way to become a better skater and actually, like, you can do the simple tricks, or you can do really, really cool tricks as well. It's actually pretty fun. We might play it tonight just to show you a little bit instead of playing Helldivers tonight, because I play Helldivers this afternoon. So this evening I might play a little bit of Skate just to show you what it is. Jesse says, I don't like the new Skate game. It looks like the Sims/Fortnite characters and Hell of Meat. Also going to ruin their game, just saying. Yeah, it's weird. The way they look is kind of weird. I would say it's Fortnite-esque, but it's definitely Sims. It's definitely Sims. Skate have Battle Royale or not? Nope, there's no Battle Royale. It's just Skate. It's just skating, but it's just kind of weird. Maybe they will add a Battle Royale inside the thing. I have no idea. Like, a Battle Royale meaning, like, 100 people start to do a trick, and you have to complete the trick in a certain thing. Maybe it's like an elimination type of thing, not really like a battle royale, but maybe there's like 25, 30, 100 people that are doing the same thing, and whoever does the best tricks with the most points, whoever doesn't gets eliminated type of thing. They could potentially do something like that. They're making a platform to farm microtransactions. Yeah, 100% Jones. Eclipse says, I played the proximity chat in Fortnite, and oh my god, so good. It is a Call of Duty Wild West. Love it. Oh, did they put proximity chat inside of Fortnite? I'm gonna have to check out the. I'm gonna have to check that out if it's automatically on, because my son's not allowed to talk to unless they're on their friends list. So I wonder if they changed it because they do the proximity chat if it's on, and then anyone he can hear anybody. Ron Slusher says, "Hear me out. Skate Battle Royale." I think they will do something like along those lines. Jason says, Skate Concord Edition. Kylo says, they have Girl, Vans, Chocolate, Dime, which also they had a since early alpha gameplay months ago, and still the same crap. Like I said, Kyle, maybe because it's an early access, they have a certain amount of brands, but then the other brands come down the line. Like think about Fortnite. When Fortnite first started with the Battle Royale, it was just their generic characters. But then when they got IPs and stuff, like Marvel, Star Wars, Transformers, Power Rangers, they put it into the thing afterwards, The budget of the game is definitely low. The music in the game is mostly generic as well. They also have some artists in there, but nothing like the original 3-game soundtracks. I thought it was weird that as you're skating, you'll see like speakers and they're pulsing or whatever, and then when you go up to it, you push in left analog stick, and then the sound goes from there and it goes into you, and then you hear the music. So that's another way I think they're going to charge, where you might hear actual soundtracks, and if you like it, then you could potentially purchase it. It's a mode. You have to go to the mode. Okay. World says, yeah, people are getting banned like crazy, apparently. What, for the proximity chat thing? Kyle says, just sucks because I have thousands of hours in the first 3 games of Skate, so it's very disappointing to me. No, I get it. I agree with you. I wanted Skate 4, but they decided to go with live service game for Skate, and we'll see how it ruins it or makes it better. Skate is more sim. It's a really good skate as far as like doing the tricks. It feels really good to skate. If you're saying like more sim, like, are you saying like Sims like the sim? Or are you saying like sim like simulator? Jesse says, I love Skate franchises and realistic characters. Not bringing the story back, and also real skateboards in the normal Skate game, like 1, 2, 3. Those games also OG. One of the I love, not other EA live service game. Yeah, we'll see what happens with it. I think they could 100% ruin it. It is fun, but it's fun for a very short period of time, as when me and my son, like, he stopped skating and we were just climbing and finding different areas to get to. I think the mechanics inside the game are actually really good, the way where you can mark your point. So, like, let's say I climb up a big tower, and instead of, like, dying and trying to climb up again, you can mark your respawn point and whatnot. I do think it's interesting, the mechanics they put into the game, but obviously they've also built the game around microtransactions, so we'll see how that works out in the long run. Let's go on, Mo. Skate 1 back in 2007 was life-changing to me. It was also ridiculous how fun it was for different. It was also the time, maybe just me. I love Skate 1. I was, obviously I was in my, was it late 20s when it came out. I thought it was cool. As skating as a kid and through my teenage years, and then playing Tony Hawk and all that. When Skate came out and they had that right stick mechanic, it really felt like skating. They haven't taken that away from Skate. Skate still feels good to do the lines. Like, if you're skating in this game, it feels good. It does feel good. So if you're doing the grinds and the ollies and all the tricks off the ramps and stuff like that, it really is a cool playground as far as the map is gigantic. Everything is built Like, think about Skate or Die back in the day, right? Like, that was awesome back in the day, right? This skate game, as a skate game, seems like it's a really good game for the skating mechanic. But the microtransactions and the way they built the missions and the way they do all the stuff, it seems like obviously it's baked in from the ground up about microtransactions. Jesse says, it's fun for about 35 minutes and I logged off. I get it. Yeah. All right. So let's go from that to, let's start talking about, let's go with Battlefield. Let's start with Battlefield. We'll start with Battlefield, then we'll work our way towards talking about Xbox and the tariff talk and the raising prices again. What's going on, Bat? Bat says EA skates are money grabbers. I love Skate 1, 2, and 3. Absolutely love it. My son plays all of those, like the backlog and stuff. So he played this and was like, oh, he likes it, but he's playing more skydiving in the game than actual skating. All right. Bizarre Battlefield 6 feature could end Conquest games early, even if you're still fighting. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. All right, so on social media, an image has surfaced revealing a new feature in Battlefield 6. The previously unseen mechanic would allow you a game of Conquest to end early. If all flags are captured by one team, leaving the other team unable to leave their spawn. Hold on a second. I'm not even going to read the rest of the thing. I'm just going to talk about that first paragraph. What are we talking about? Right? That's always a thing that you could take over all the flags, but now you're going to end the game like a mercy rule before it's over? What? Why? Okay, this revelation has been met with a mixed response from fans, with some claiming that the match is always salvageable. 100%. 100% it's salvageable. While others welcome the change after spending many years being farmed by spawn trappers in a situation like this. All right, so this is a very rare thing that happens, okay? Very rare thing that happens where if you're talking about the other game modes where you can pin them into their spawn point, you can do it in Conquest where everyone, and then it's the back wing, but this is map design. The map design itself is flawed if you could take over the flags and there's a mercy rule, okay? This worries me, okay? I know a lot of people won't do this, but if they have added this in the game as a mercy rule, where if everyone takes over the flags and you can't spawn except in your home base, this proves my point that I said before they even started talking about Battlefield, that the maps would be really bad, okay? Meaning their design flaws. Because if the other team, one, your matchmaking is splitting a bunch of people up for skill-based matchmaking or whatnot, okay, and uneven matches. Two, if everyone can take over the flags and then you pin someone else into their back of their base and they can't get out, that's a major problem, and that's because you didn't design the map in the right way, okay? So we'll see what happens here. It's not over until it's over, or until Battlefield 6 cuts it early. On social media, Battlefield Intel posted an image showing that the critical mission success obtained by the team having all the flags captured in a massive superior score to opposing side. It's safe to assume that at the same time, the losing team has a critical mission failure message popping up on their screen. This message is accompanied by a countdown that runs out of the game, but the nature of which it appears has yet to be defined. That was the sentiment echoed in the comments by the fans who in the franchise. It's not clear if there's also a pre-sequence function to also fire, such as opposing team having a certain percentage of tickets left, or a predefined number of fewer than also the winning side. One user claimed that they've also seen this feature fire just 4 minutes into the match, which is the winning team capping out all flags extremely quickly. Okay, holy Christ. If this is the case, okay, then everyone's going to run to a helicopter or a jet, and because of this, they're going to take the jet, they're going to parachute out, and they're going to drop down, because if I'm an A-skill player, and I drop down as fast as possible just to take over that piece, and everyone else is running to the other ones, and we take them over that fast, that is a stupid mechanic. That is a stupid mechanic in a game where you're supposed to capture the flag, and you're supposed to have tickets run out. If there's tickets don't fucking matter, and I can just take over the spot, then what's the point of capture the flag, okay? If we can just dominate by running there super fast and using the vehicles to get to the point we have, where you can have a 4-man team hold a spot and everybody else trying to get to the other points, this is bad. This is going to push a meta that they do not want in this game, which would then kill the capture the flag game mode, which then people would then go play other game modes. Now, I guess if you want to like make the problem sell the solution, which is go play other game modes that we have made, but that seems pretty shitty to where all of a sudden everyone has all the flags and the game ends much faster than trying to win the flags back. So if dominated team captures all flags with 5 minutes and the game pushes for a timer at the end of the match, is that a huge quality of life improvement, or would the players rather risk staying in the grind and trying to fight their way to capture a flag and turn the tide? Well, I would assume most people would just try to play the game to unlock and do XP and whatnot. But now that you're ending the game early, I'm not getting more kills. I'm not getting things done like blowing up a tank or capture a different flag or use my AR or use my SMG or, right? So, like, you're automatically stopping me from doing stuff in the game. So I'm playing capture the flag. So now people will be like, well, I don't want to play capture the flag because capture the flag can end in 5 minutes. Instead, I'm going to go play, I'm sorry, not capture the flag, Conquest mode, right? Capture flags in Conquest mode. But if I want to go play Conquest mode, I'm not going to do it because it could potentially end in 5 minutes, and I'd rather go play a different mode where I can play longer. So, like in Battlefield 1 and all the other Battlefields, like we played Operation or we played Rush, and you just kept pushing forward, and you knew where the alleyways were, so you would shoot people, meaning if I needed to get, let's say, 25 kills with an AR, I could do that. But now, in Conquest mode, if let's say I have to do 25 kills or 50 kills or whatever, it's going to take you much longer because you might be on a shitty team, and instead of getting your kills, maybe you can still get your kills, but the game's going to end much faster. So you're not going to get as much XP. You're not going to get your objectives done. This seems like a huge, huge red flag for me for this system to be in the game. So it says, if domination team captures all the flags within 5 minutes and the game pushes the timer and end of the match, there's also a huge quality of life improvement where the players risk staying in the grind and trying to fight their way and capture the flag and turn the tide. So I think this is stupid. I think this is bad. I think in the long run, it's actually going to backfire in their face, and they're going to have to balance stuff, which is dumb. They're making problems where there really was no problems. Because let's be honest, if you're on a team that's getting their asses kicked, are you going to stay on that team? I would, personally, because I can still do my personal goals that I have to do for leveling up or guns I'm using to kill people. But most people would be like, I'm out, and they would just leave the game. So why are we making this a problem when the problem's already fixed? Like, the problem of people being on a shitty team and getting their asses kicked, they just leave that game, right? But now what you're doing is you're automatically making it worse of a problem, and then people won't play the Conquest mode because they know that if they're on a shitty team, it's going to end in 5 minutes. So why waste my 5 minutes when I can go play a game mode that I actually like better, that I can actually complete things faster? But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe if you like what I do here. Check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Let's see here. I mean, just make it where the team can surrender if they want to. What the hell is wrong with you guys? I don't even know about the surrender thing, Eclipse. Like, what did you need? Like, 3/4 of the team to say we would surrender and give up? People surrendering just leave the game. But then what happens sometimes, okay, and you really know you're on a shitty team, if you're in a game and you're getting your ass kicked, the people that don't want to get their ass kicked, they leave the game. They're like, fuck this, I'm out. Then people get filled in, and then all of a sudden, this team that was the low man on the totem pole here, right? What's the word I'm looking for? Just the poor team, right? I can't think of it. My brain is completely the one that's bad. All of a sudden, those people leave, new people come in, fill that team up, and all of a sudden that team starts to do better. That won't happen anymore in Conquest because it's going to be a mercy roll. Underdog. The underdog. I don't know why I couldn't think of that, right? So if you're a team that's getting your asses kicked, all the flags are captured, these people say, I'm fucking out. They leave. You're the underdog team, and all of a sudden a new wave of people fill in the positions, and all of a sudden you start winning. What? That's already been in the game. Why are they changing it? Sarge says if you put a mercy rule in the game, the competitive players will push to get the mercy rule because they will want to. Exactly right. They're adding flag drain to all the conquest modes. It doesn't even look like they're draining. It looks like if you capture all of the flags, it just puts it into mercy rule. I don't agree with the surrender. I don't agree with the surrender. Surrendering is just backing out of the game. You leave, and then people fill in, and then the team can do a turnaround. Jesse says, what the F, the point of EA and DICE doing this to other team and not allowing bad team to capture their flags? It's fucking stupid. Welcome to modern crybaby generation. Don't hurt me mode for Battlefield. Seriously? They pulled a Madden rule in Battlefield? Yeah, it's kind of stupid. Makoki, what's going on? I wonder if the situation is where all they purposely leaking this to gauge what the gamers react, or is this just another dumb dev idea? Could be a little bit of both. Could be a little bit of both, right? I don't even know why this is an actual thing. Like, whose idea was this? To be like, oh, let's leak this to see if it's a good idea or a bad idea. It's a bad idea. We keep score in Little League Baseball because that's what you do. You don't make everybody go, oh, kumbaya, right? Like, you play the game, because it's a game. There's a winner and a loser. Sometimes there's ties, okay? But 99.9% of the time, there's a winner and there's a loser. If someone's losing in Conquest mode, you lose. But to mercy me faster, that takes out so much of the stuff that you can do because you can still kill people. You can still earn rewards or medals during the actual match, even if you're losing, right? The whole point, see, this is the problem. This is the problem. The whole point about Battlefield is winning and losing, and now it's like a landslide. It's like, well, these guys are winning, so we're just going to assume they're going to win the entire thing. Do you know how many times we've played a Battlefield game where you're down 400 tickets and you make a comeback? Do you know how many times we've done that? Or it's a super close game, right? It's a swing. Then you make a super comeback and you still lose by like 5 tickets, 6 tickets. With this, you're not getting that. They automatically stop and say, oh, I'm sorry, you're getting your ass kicked. Can't do it. There's no rallies. There's no nothing. Which would then breed people going, it's already, because you would see it. You would see the wave happen. You would see, there we got 5. And instead of the mercy rule, you would just get the people and go, peace out. And they would leave before the mercy rule kicks in. That's how you condition people. You would condition the players, they got 5 flags. I don't even have to wait the 45 seconds to let me know that we're going to lose. I'm just going to back out now. They need to bring back the old system of Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 6. All flags captured in 2 minutes, win or lose, makes tickets worthless. PS5 says, what a bonehead move. Better drain tickets faster as normal. The system already, if you own a flag, if you own 3 of the 5 flags on the board, your tickets are going to go down faster because you own more of the things. If you own 4, your tickets go down even faster, right? Right? It's like a bonus multiplier on top of the kills. So it's draining. So let's say it drains a second every time you own a flag. Well, if I own 2 flags, it's going to go down 2 points because you own 2 flags, right? So if it's neutral, 2 and 2, right? It's neutral. But if you own 1 flag over it, right? So I have 3, you have 2. This ticket's going down faster because every second you own an extra flag, it's going down. If it's 2-2, it's even, right? If it's 3-2, this is ticking every second, going down. If it's 2 extra flags, so it's 4 versus 1, right? Then it's 2 tickets every second going down. So it goes down faster, right? And if you have all 5 flags, then it would obviously be 5 flags going down. It'd be 5 extra tickets going down faster every second. So that's the thing. But if you automatically say they have 5, now there's a countdown, it's over. It's like, why? I can still try to get it. Now, here's another thing I haven't even thought of. So every time it takes over 5 flags or whatever all the flags are, all of a sudden this thing's going to pop up. You have 10 seconds to capture a flag. Like, get out of here, man. There's tickets for a reason. That is the timer. Eclipse says, I don't agree with it either, but don't make it mercy rule. That's way worse. Titan says, I think that's a good idea for domination mode for Battlefield to win if you capture all flags for a certain time. I don't think there should be a mercy rule for any mode. I don't. Especially in a live service game, because that's what it is. It's their platform. They're going to put kill 5 of these, put 5 explosives, do whatever. If you could do that in one mission, because it's a timer, time's time, okay? But now you stop me, and I put 1 bomb down, and then that's it, mercy roll. Now I got to go back into another game. Instead of taking the time and doing the other 4 bombs, now I have to do 5 bombs across 5 games, which is then, it's like, why? And this is why they're doing it. Because time related into the game takes you longer to complete objectives. If it takes you longer to complete objectives, then it takes you longer to upgrade certain things. If it takes you longer to upgrade certain things, then maybe it would be... You see what I'm saying? Water Bear says the 99.9% version comes with the golden compass. 15 instant spawns on the flag when playing capture the flag mode. Robert Jones says, I'm only a fan of mercy rule when the game is actually unsalvageable. If you want a mercy rule, Jones, you could just back out. Do you see what I'm saying? If the option is, I don't like getting my ass kicked, you back out. To punish the team and say, I want a mercy rule because I don't want to get my ass kicked, you are already getting your ass kicked. So you might as well either do what you can and complete the things you want to complete, or back the fuck out of the game. Makoki says, I remember when they had a mercy rule in Iron Banner back in the Destiny days. I thought it worked well, but it was also there was no way to make a comeback in those situations. And exactly what I'm saying right now, Makoki, when you had to complete 10 kills with this certain weapon in Iron Banner or do this certain things, it would take you longer to complete because you couldn't get it complete because the game would end. Robert Jones says, do they end the mercy rule if the losing team captures anything? It says if all 5 flags, at least in the article, all 5 flags are captured, it initiates a mercy rule, and they have a certain amount of time to capture a flag, which is just the normal game, because the timer itself is the tickets. If you don't capture a flag, you will lose. You don't need to put a mercy rule on top of that. Jesse says, I blame EA's suits for Battlefield mercy rule, not the devs. How will ruin Battlefield franchise faster than making more money? So basically, if one quits, the whole team loses. Yeah, I guess. There's a great mercy mode for Battlefield 6 that's called not playing it. Most probably the game has a back out penalty. They've never had it before. They've never had a back out penalty before. If they add that, that's also stupid. Because now you're making the problem. You're also making a solution. But you're also making a problem for the solution, right? So you're making the mercy rule. And if people don't like it, because before they would just back out of the game and they would get filled in. Right? So there really is no problem, right? Person doesn't want to play this game, that person leaves, another person gets filled in, whatever. But now you're putting a mercy rule, right? So this team's getting their ass kicked, mercy rule comes in, then that's it, right? And instead of let the people play, then you're making the mercy rule, then if you back out, now there's a penalty on top of you because they put a penalty on top of that. It's like, I don't want the mercy rule, I want to back out. But now if you back out, now there's a penalty for you backing out. Why? Are they doing this for a kill-death ratio nerds so they don't also lower kill-death ratio and make them mad? Potentially PlayStation 5, maybe, because a lot of people coming from Call of Duty. Battlefield has never been, like, your personal goals in Battlefield, looking at your kill-death ratio, sure, but it's never been about the kill-death ratio because there's no, right? Like, people want kill streaks and stuff. It's like, go play Call of Duty then, you know what I mean? Titan says, wait, there isn't a back out penalty? A lot of players are going to be quitters? There's never been a back out penalty in Battlefield. Zero. There's never been a back out penalty. It's not like it's a ranked match or something from like Marvel Rivals. Robert Jones says, no back out penalty because there's no matchmaking. Why do we need a matchmaking in Battlefield? Yeah, it's just one person leaves, next person gets put in. There's never been an issue with this. There should be a back out penalty. Battlefield isn't a super competitive game. Exactly. Waterbear says, bring in Nicki Minaj skins. I'd be okay if they only activates after a certain time. So if there's less than remaining, then there's also for you to capture everything. Why do you need a mercy rule in a game mode where if you don't like the game that you're in, like right now, take out the mercy rule. You're on a team, and you notice that no one's capturing any flags, right? Not to say that you're getting dominated by their way, but you notice the team that you're on, no one's doing what they're supposed to do. No one's playing that fucking objective, PTFO, right? You have two options there. You're like, well, I'm going to continue playing and try to brute force this and be a hero and try to do it myself, which most of the time that's what I do, right? I'm just like, I'm going to play, right? I'll take over, right? You've watched me play Battlefield 1 and all the other Battlefields where no one's taking over a flag, and then I run up the hill, capture it myself, while everyone else is battling over here, right? If I notice I'm on a team that's no one's doing anything, I have two options. Continue playing the game or back the fuck out. Those are my options. But now you're forcing me. Now you're forcing the player. Well, no one's playing the objective, so we're going to mercy rule you automatically. Why? I have the option to back out. There is no penalty for backing out. Zero penalty. Zero penalty. World says, I hate being pushed back, and then after a couple of minutes, teammates start leaving, and you're stuck there by yourself at times. This is a fundamental problem. If you're getting pushed back in the map, and it's constantly happening, and it happened in Battlefield 6 on Liberty Peak, okay? Liberation Peak, right? Happened all the time. That's because their map design is terrible. Terrible. So let's have a little conversation, right? We know that in Battlefield 2042, they had 8 maps or 10 maps when they came out at launch. And people hated them because they were wide open. So much so that it was like, no, it's not a problem. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, we're going back and redesigning all the maps. And the maps felt better afterwards, okay? Now here we are. They've did the maps in the beta. We got pushed back in Liberty Peak, I would say 80% of the time. I'm just pulling a number out, but more times than not, you got pushed back on one side or the other in Liberation Peak, okay? So there's only 9 maps in the game, okay? It happened in, I forget the other mode as well. There was another mode where you got pushed back and you got stuck in there. I forget what game mode it was, okay? So we only have 9 maps at launch when it comes out. One of them is bad design already because Liberation Peak, you know, Liberty Peak. Liberation Peak or Liberty Peak, I forget what it's called. Anyway, the wide open map that we saw in the beta, that's bad design because you can hold someone back on both sides, okay? So that's one. So now there's 8 maps that you have to assume that are better than the one. But we know that's not true because the other 3 maps that we played, you could push people back in the spawn point multiple times. So there's 3 maps that you could do that to. It happens more on Peak, okay, than the other ones. So 9 maps, and 3 of the maps you could push people back. These are bad map designs. They are. They're bad map designs. Hence why they're putting a mercy rule in. So they made bad maps, make the problem, make the solution, and the solution is, oh, we'll do a mercy rule. Eclipse says, yeah, it's rare for me to be in a full game of Battlefield, usually join when the matches has started. Warbus says it's also a good thing that we'll see a separate and the real Battlefield players who PTFO from the ones who also want kill streaks quicker. Because people who play the objective will hopefully rank up faster. Yes, that's exactly right. Because you get more XP if you do the stuff and also do the PTFO. And if you capture a flag with the squad there, you get more bonus. And if you mark the thing, right? So if I'm in a squad, I mark where we're going. Take over a flag. I mark it. Then we go there. We get bonuses for doing that. You get bonuses for being more people there. You get bonus for doing the objective that was marked, right? There's so many other things to do. You're killing that with a mercy roll. Capturing objectives by yourself can feel rewarding, but I agree. The maps are also are big a part of it happening. Eclipse says, what if what usually happens to get more points for playing the objective, so you usually level up much faster? Yes, 100%. Mokoku says, well, they also have bots implemented in these game modes. The mercy rule might not matter as much, and 50% of the players are bots. They said that bots will be feeded in for certain things. We don't know because the game's not out. Obviously, I don't think there'll be bots at the beginning when the game comes out because it'll be massive hype for it, so a lot of people are going to buy it. But as the months or as the weeks and months go by, there's going to be less actual people playing, but you're not going to know that, and then bots are going to be put in, right? I can already see the articles now, right? Drop off, but yet there's lobbies are still full. People are not going to realize if they're real people or fake people. They might be just new people that are Call of Duty, whatever, right? But we don't know about the bots until after the fact. They need to limit the mercy roll ability. They need to just take it out. There should be no mercy roll. A mercy roll is people just back out themselves. Self-filtration. Robert Jones says, sounds like they're trying to train the COD players to PTFO. Perhaps. But to force them to quit the game instead of just learning to play the freaking objective, right? Like if a person's playing the game and you're losing and losing and losing and losing and losing, you would have to change something, right? You're like, well, we lost because we didn't take over the capture the flag point. A lot of games are directly, indirectly on hold because of Battlefield 6. Look how many studios are involved. Yeah, there's four studios. All right, another story from Battlefield is Battlefield 6 devs discuss why he thinks the game will be more successful than Battlefield 2042. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. All right, so a producer at DICE says that they're confident in the release of Battlefield 6 on October 10th will be much more successful than the release of Battlefield 2042. After a successful open beta in August and launch of Battlefield 6 has become one of the most anticipated games in October. Looking back at the struggles of Battlefield 2042 had, the studio feels optimistic thanks to the feedback and received from the community. Well, that's because you didn't finish the game. Like, can we just admit this? Battlefield 2042 wasn't done. Now, we don't know if Battlefield 6 is done, but Battlefield 2042, we know now, looking back on it, wasn't done when it came out. So when Battlefield 2042 released in November of 2021, DICE had ambitious plans of the game's large-scale maps and matches that could also hold up to 128 players. It was a big selling point, but they didn't make the maps for 128 players, okay, because they had bad map design. Lack of the campaign in Battlefield 2042 didn't quite sit as well with the longtime Battlefield players. Users' reviews reflected this, with the current rating of 2.4 out of 10 on the Metacritic. So DICE returned to the drawing board for Battlefield 6 and created an experience that also would be for fans, with the help of the fans, okay? Help of the fans, but the people they brought in to play the game were all Call of Duty players or Overwatch players. It's weird, okay? Speaking of PC games, and DICE producer Jeremy Chubb says they also knew the ambitions were high for Battlefield 2042, but Battlefield 6 is returning to a successful roots of prior games. Again, roots being the start, and that's 2042, not Battlefield 3 and 4. This game is much more in tune with what we built in Battlefield 3 and 4, particularly, Chubbs told PC Games N. Aspects of the games come through really strong. Battlefield 3 and 4 are two of the highest-rated Battlefield games released in a long-running series. Chubbs also pointed out that DICE and EA turned to players to help solidify that Battlefield 6 development with Battlefield Labs. He says that the energy in the audience after Battlefield 6 beta has been overwhelming. There's also a confidence to us because we set up work with the community that we have in this program, Battlefield Labs. We put sometimes quite crude software in front of people, and also the journey they also had to go through together to show the development experiences. The changes made by DICE to create Battlefield 6 experience that the fans will enjoy paid off for the studio in August. By the end of the first weekend, Battlefield 6 became a franchise's largest opening beta, and the current players peaking at 473,000 on Steam. Again, it's a skewed number because it's never been on Steam before at launch. So yes, very big number because the other games never launched on Steam at the exact same time. Chubb thinks that everyone's contributing to help the game succeed will also hold some value. He says, I don't think we need a reminding that we're a lot of the Battlefield fans out there, says Chubbs. They're also super passionate about the experience that we built. Yeah, I am very passionate about the game. So obviously, as long as you come out, because they came out with 2042 and said, oh, we're putting 128 players in the map, but then they put bots in the game. Hit detection was shitty. The maps were bad. And they didn't make the design of the maps to 128 players. So the problem with 128 players wasn't 128 players. It was the maps for 128 players, and that the heat detection didn't work, and then you put bots in the game, and also incomplete game, right? It was super glitchy. So again, to say that this game is going to sell more than 2042, I would hope so, considering 2042 is the lowest game next to Hardline when it comes to popularity. Now, as far as sales go, there was a shit ton of sales for Battlefield 2042, okay? There was anywhere between 8 to 12 million copies sold for a game that was broke, buggy. Now, I don't know what kind of return policy and how many people returned it, okay? But there was a huge amount of people that bought the actual game. Now, obviously, once it was told it was broke, people didn't continue to buy it. So if it sold, let's say, 8 to 10 million, it probably only sold a million for the next 4 years, okay? So much so that 1 year later, they had to put it on Game Pass, and that's when it started picking up popularity again. But to say that this is going to be better than 2042, that's not a good comparison because 2042 was an absolute clusterfuck when it came out. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. We just watched a video where they're all a part of TikTok age, and they just want clips. That's right. That's right. It'll be the best game in the franchise. It will be the best game in the franchise. Selling-wise, is that what you're saying? Battlefield 6 will be the best game in the franchise? Potentially. 2042, how do you cut production of a campaign and still not finish the multiplayer? It's a good question, Jones. It's a good question. Nobody returned. It's because it wasn't on Steam. I mean, the open beta was better than 2042. Yeah, the open beta was good. I had fun with it. But I have a lot of concerns, especially since there's a mercy rule. And there's a battle royale. And that the portal's not even about Battlefield anymore. It's about make your own... Portal, right, is sort of like Skate. Where Skate, I can create my own stuff in the game and parachute off... Well, not even parachute. Skite off a building and not actually play Skate. Portal is like, I'm going to be playing Battlefield, but I'm not actually playing Battlefield. I'm playing inside Battlefield, but I'm not playing Battlefield. I just hope DICE brings back server browsers. They are in Portal, but not in the main game. They've already said this. They said they might talk about it later, but as of right now, Portal's got the server browser, okay, but the normal game does not. Hal says devs aren't required to finish games anymore. No, because they're live service, so they can finish them later. They can finish it later. Hey, tell your kid. You'd be like, you done with your homework? Yeah, no, I'm not doing my homework. I'll do it later. And they push it off. And they push it off. Then they push it off. Hey, did you empty the dishwasher? Did you take out the trash? I'll do it later. I'll do it later. That's what the devs do now. They're like, the game's out there. It's not going anywhere. The trash will be there, Dad. I'll take it out later. It's out there. It's all right. I don't need to cover that. Z says, what's going on, Z? Says there's no incentive for gaming journalism to say anything less than Battlefield 6 is the best to come out yet. 100%. You're gonna click on that article regardless, and they move on to the next thing, right? And then we're gonna forget about what they wrote. I won't. Pepperidge Farm won't. Okay, and then they'll go on to the next article and then tell you. Titan says there's a server browser in Portal. Gotcha. Yeah, that's it. There is a server browser. That's it. All right. So we'll talk about that. That's all about Battlefield. Let's talk about... this, right? We already got that one. Next up is Microsoft faces tough choices. Xbox price hike explains amid the tariff pressures. Now, there's a lot of talk going on now. And if you guys watch me, I've been talking about the tariff is bullshit conversation for months now. Even back when Nintendo started saying they were going to raise prices and PlayStation raised prices and Xbox raised prices back in May, I said that's not how tariffs work, right? So much so we made fun of, blaming it on the tariffs, a song, okay? If it's digital, there is no tariffs because it's digital. But they can raise the price because they want to match the actual physical. And then the actual consoles that are in the actual country already, okay? Again, I'll use my example of Costco or Target or Walmart or Best Buy. You could walk in right now before they raise the prices for the second time in less than 5 months, okay? And you can see the console there, okay? Microsoft is not flying off the shelf, right? Xbox is not flying off the shelf. So much so that they had stock that's been there for years sitting on the thing. You know this because if you go and look at your actual box, if you bought an Xbox in the last year or so, and look at it, it tells you when they actually was made. Okay, so it's been sitting there for quite some time. So if Costco has a pallet full of PlayStations and Switches and Xboxes, okay, and then they say, oh, the price is going up, right? We talked about this with MetaQuest as well, okay? Monday it was one price, Tuesday it's the next because of tariffs, okay? That's not how that works. That's not how that works. But what they'll do is they'll call up the people and say, hey, Costco, I need you to remove the pallet of consoles off the floor for a day. And they're like, okay. So they take and they move it to the back, and they're like, yeah, we're out of consoles. We're sold out of PlayStation 5s. We're sold out of Xboxes. We got no more MetaQuests, right? And then Tuesday they pull them right back out and put them out there, and they just change the sign and say, yeah, now it's $800. And you're like, it's because of the tariffs. No, that's not how that works. Okay. So it says it's an unexpected twist. Microsoft has announced the price hike of its Xbox Series X console effective October 3rd, driven by escalating U.S. tariffs. Bullshit. Okay. The Series X climbs to $649 and stark reflection of the challenging economic landscape of facing customers. Right? This year, the United States government has issued a range of tariffs on different countries with the stated goal of bringing more manufacturing to the United States. In the short term, at the very least, the labor education gap means that the companies will still have to depend on countries like China, Vietnam, India, and other tariff-impacted economics and manufacture the product. Okay. Microsoft and other companies have already been forced to increase the price of their tech products, particularly so that they're also heavily dependent on China, whose patchwork and tariff ranges from anywhere between 10% and 40% of various components. Okay, other aspects of the overall supply chain, whether or not the store or shortage chips, or even just circulating every aspect of the Xbox Series X and S console, has been subject to a variety of duties based on what the inside of the box, putting pressure on the manufacturers to increase prices. Now, diversity supply chains are both a lot of these cases. Microsoft increased the cost of Xbox Series X and S products in response to the tariff already once this year, and today they're increasing it again. These are the same products that were on the shelf. They didn't ship them out. They didn't bring them over. There's literally warehouses that they just hold stuff in so they can stop the tariffs from coming in. They paid the charge that were in. They put them in a warehouse. They leave them in that warehouse, and then they send them out to other stores. They're already here. They already paid for those. Shared with also the U.S. earlier today, Microsoft increasing the recommended retail pricing for its Xbox S and S console due to changes in environment. Okay. The new prices will kick in October 3rd, so if you're still considering buying an Xbox in the near terms, now would be also a good time to pull the trigger. No, don't buy it. Because if you didn't buy it at $500 and you didn't buy it at $650, why would you buy it at $800? Sounds like a terrible, right? Terrible consumer. Okay. So previous price for the 512 was $379. Now it's $399. If you have a 1 terabyte, it was $429. Now it's $449. If you have the Xbox Digital, it's $449. Now it's $599. If you have the Xbox Series X, okay, $599 is now $649. And if you have the Xbox Series X 2 terabyte, it's $729 and $800 now, right? So a source at Microsoft offered to follow comments. We're navigating an incredibly dynamic environment right now. We've assessed the changing macroeconomy environment and addressed the acceptable impacts. Indeed, the tariff situation between the United States and China, where the Xbox consoles are manufactured, changes on a near monthly cadence. So I have a question. Are you telling me that the boxes that already came in, because they sold so many Xboxes, right? What do they have, 33, 38, whatever it is? Those are the same. Let's say they shipped 50 million. Let's say they shipped 50 million boxes. Where do we think those boxes are? Do you think they came over and shipped them back and then shipped them back again so they can charge a tariff? I don't think so. Considering the same boxes that I saw yesterday are here today, which will still be here on October 13th. Okay. So Trump is expected to meet with China premium in the near future, the prime minister over there, following the landmark deal, it transfers TikTok U.S. operations to American companies like Oracle. There's also a chance that the thaw in tariffs could emerge there. China has also issued its own curbs of some American tech, such as NVIDIA AI chips. Microsoft's support page of Matter conceded that the changes are challenging and emphasizing that they're also ramping up access to Xbox content in other ways. Make a problem, sell a solution. Beginning on October 3rd, will be an update recommended to retailer pricing of Series S and X consoles in the United States due to changes in the macroeconomy environment. Okay, we understand that these changes are challenging, and they also made a careful consideration looking ahead, and we continue to focus offering more ways to play more games across the screens and providing value of Xbox players. I have a question. 5 months ago, you didn't know? 5 months ago, you didn't make these changes? You made them again twice? Looks pretty bad. Looks pretty bad. Looks like 5 months ago when they raised it, they're like, it's not enough. We should have raised it more. Let's do it. Let's do it. Right? Microsoft has begun working hard to convince its publishing partners to ship games on Xbox PC and compete with Xbox Play Anywhere, although most AAA publishers don't seem interested for now. Right? Microsoft has also been launching many games directly into Xbox Cloud Gaming, even to third-party developers, which also increasingly attractive option for gamers who get priced out by these hardware RRP increase, okay? Microsoft is poised to increase the quality of Xbox Cloud Gaming streams, too, while also lowering the cost of the cloud entry below the current $20 subscription via. Now, remember this, okay? We've said this a while ago. Now, people are not going to be buying the games, or the systems, and people are going to get the subscription service. Well, remember, that subscription service has to go up now because of the value, okay? Not because of tariffs, because of value, because they're all digital. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. Okay, it's all bullshit. Okay, so despite revenue growth, Microsoft is raising Xbox console prices again, blaming the changes on the macro economy environment. Okay, Microsoft says the changes will only be taking place in the U.S. Will only impact consoles, and the prices for its headsets and controllers won't be changing. Well, that's crazy. How is that possible if tariffs? How is that happening if the not impacting the headsets or controllers, but just the console? It's quite interesting. The new prices, which we already went over, When the first launched in 2020, Xbox Series X was $499.99, while the Xbox Series S was $299.99. And the 5 years since then, the base console has risen in price of 30% and 33% respectively. Okay, the Galaxy Edition of Xbox Series X launched at $599 in October 2024, and since gone up $200 and 33% in less than a year. Okay, why are they raising the prices? The second major price increase in 5-year-old hardware in 4 months. Microsoft is blaming the state of the economy. We're profitable, but we want to make more profit. We want to make more profit. Day buyers won. That's defensible, Jason. Considering the people that bought day one didn't have the games and stuff day one, or year one, or year two, or year three, right? So I wouldn't really say they won. They might have won on price for the actual hardware, but they also didn't get the games at the frame rate and stuff that they promised at the beginning. Z says, I say those who want to avoid the hassle of PC gaming and also should be paying a premium price for Sony and Xbox is spending a ton of money trying to put together for them. So I want to watch this video here from a real-life fake wizard. Okay, I saw this pop up in my feed. It says, video game industry lies about tariffs. And I saw this and I said, we like his videos. I haven't watched his video. Okay, but I was like, you know what? I like where he goes. I like watching his videos. He talks about Disney Plus and stuff like that. Okay, so I was like, let's watch this on stream. Links in the description down below.
I am the real life fake.
Hold on. Sorry, Wizard. Sorry. All right. If you guys want to watch his video uninterrupted without pausing or anything like that, go check out the link below. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, go check out his channel. Subscribe to them and whatnot. So let's watch this and see what the real life fake wizard has to say.
Hello. I am the real life fake wizard. For this video, I am experiencing rage. Rage at the fact that the AAA video games industry thinks that you are stupid.
That's right. They think you're idiots, morons even, right? That's not me saying that, right? That's the industry telling you that. The industry thinks we're fucking morons. And when you buy their stuff and do the things because they think you're fucking morons, guess what? We're fucking morons.
They also think that I am stupid. And unfortunately, too many gamers just might be.
It's exactly right. That's exactly right. I'm not stupid. I'm not buying that. Ooh, pre-order bonus. Let me buy that.
Most of 2025, we have been peddled stories about how the Donald Trump tariffs on international goods have impacted companies. And that's not entirely false by any means, no. But the narrative that these tariffs have resulted in video game companies needing to increase the prices of their hardware by hundreds of dollars, it's a blatant lie. This is a lie that the access media is pushing. This is a lie that the corporations are pushing. And this is a lie that a lot of content creators are paid to peddle to you.
100%. I agree with him 100% with that statement. Okay? They lie to you. The journalists lie to you. They all say this because this is what they want. What's the narrative that we're going on here? Oh, well, let's do the tariffs. Let's do the tariffs. Let's do the thing. Let's tell them it's the tariffs. This is not how it works. That's not how it works. Tariffs are for things that are coming into the country now. So if they put a tariff tomorrow on Tuesday is when it goes live, you don't charge on Monday. They're not charging. So if a ship comes in on Monday and it gets across the thing and then Tuesday it starts, they didn't pay the tariff. There is no extra charge for that. That's in the country now. They have it in the country. Now they go to distribution centers and they sit there until the store needs them again. Target's like, hey, we're short on Xboxes. They're like, all right, we got you. And then that warehouse then ships it to them and go, okay, now there's your replenishment. And only then when they're selling out, which we know that Xbox is not selling out, okay, do they call for more shipments to come in and then they pay for the tariffs.
Now, what would bring on a discussion like this? Well, Xbox has just announced another round of price increases on all Xbox Series consoles, making it one of the most expensive platforms on the market today.
this is also, and I said this, I want to say about a month and a half ago, because we were talking about the handheld, what the handheld was going to be priced at, okay? And I said it would be pretty stupid if the handheld is more expensive than the console itself, right? If the handheld is more than the console itself, it's fucking stupid. Because this is supposed to be the most powerful system in the Xbox market. Well, if the Xbox Series X is less money than the handheld device that's less powerful than the Xbox Series X, that's going to look pretty bad, isn't it? It's going to look pretty bad. So what would you do as a company? Well, you would probably raise the price up because you can't lower the price of the handheld so much. So you have to raise the price of the box, the most powerful system for the Microsoft system, so the handheld looks somewhat attractable, okay? And I talked about this actually more months ago, talking about the S and the X and the handheld, and you have to have a mid ground, okay? The S will probably be the ballpark where that's the cheapest to come in, right? They're actually the cloud game would be the cheapest. Then it'd be the S, then it'd be the handheld, then it would be the Xbox Series X. Hence why I said the handheld would be, if they were smart, would be around $500, okay? $450, $500. But they probably want $650. And you can't ask for $650 for a handheld if the system itself is $650. So they're going to have to raise that price up, make the problem, sell the solution.
Okay. If we look here, the original price of the Xbox Series X on launch in 2020 was $499. On May 1st, 2025, the price was increased to $599, $100 more. And
fucking insane. It's insane. 5 years later, $150.
And after this new announcement, the cost of an Xbox Series X base model will be $649 in the United States. Do you remember when the price of consoles
yes
decreased 5 years after the console first?
Yeah, because they were losing money on them, and they could lose money because they were selling the software. But now because the software and their games are way, way over budget, a game that used to cost $30 million to $50 million is now costing them $450 million. Battlefield 6 is upwards of $450 to $500 million. Think about that. And that's not even a first-party title. Imagine if Xbox or Microsoft made a $450 to $500 million, right? They do with Call of Duty, by the way. Okay. But if Battlefield, these AAA games are getting way, way over budget. Way over budget.
First launched? I remember. Now, $650 for a 5-year-old console is a lot, and most people would have you believe that the Trump tariffs alone are responsible for this. That is not the case. Exhibit A, we are not seeing a one-to-one pass-through of the tariff rates. The tariff percentage placed upon video game consoles coming from China, which is where Xboxes are made, is 145%.
Right. So how much would that cost? If the tariff of 145% came over, how much do you think you're paying for that? It's like a $1,200 Xbox.
That is massive. That is a massive tariff. If the tariffs were truly applied in full to all Xbox Series X's and the full lineup, that would have increased the price passed through to customers from $500 to nearly $1,200.
Damn, I'm good. Right? Yeah, $1,200.
$25 USD.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd be okay with that, right? So get out of here with these tariffs, telling us all the tariffs are coming over. Well, they're not giving us the full tariff. We got to raise the price, but we're not going to. Stop it. Stop it. They're lying to you. They're lying to you because they think you're morons.
Clearly, that's not happening. Comparatively, PlayStation 5s are primarily made in Japan, and Sony negotiated what would have been a 25% tariff down to a 15% tariff. That's a massive difference from 145% that Xbox has. And I'm telling you, there's not a chance in hell that Microsoft is going to eat $500+.
No way. There's no way they're eating $500. There's no way they're eating $500. See, this is why you know they're greedy. El Nino says pure greed. Yeah, this is why you know they're greedy, okay? Because like I said before, go to Costco, go to Target, go to all these places. They have the actual systems in their stores right now, okay? Do we think that all of a sudden that let's say they have 5 million units statewide, okay, that they're going to sell in Target, Best Buy, Walmart, Costco's, wherever. Do we think that all of a sudden the people that didn't come over to Xbox Series S or X in the last 5 years are all of a sudden going to go, oh my God, I need it now, and I'm going to pay $700 or whatever it is, $650 before it goes up on October, right? No way. There's no way. Okay? They'll just sit there like they sat there for 5 years. Those boxes are still there, and they're still going to sit there because we know, because we're not idiots, okay, that Xbox's consoles didn't sell well. And because they didn't sell well, if they were selling like hotcakes and they were up there with PlayStation for 70 million units, then you would say, yeah, I can understand they're shipping more in because they're so popular. But they're sitting on the shelf as we speak right now. Unless they take them off themselves to make it look like it, they're here. There's no tariff. But they're greedy assholes of a company, and they raise the price because the consumers are only told what they're told. Or I should say, they only know what they're told.
In tariff costs if they were really an issue.
Let me rewind here for a second.
In hell that Microsoft is going to eat $500+ in tariff costs if they were really an issue. Exhibit B, tariffs do not apply retroactively to consoles.
That's right. Tariffs don't retroactively for any product. It's not retroactive. It's what you pay for to come into the country.
That are already imported, cleared through customs, and stored in standard United States warehouses. However, if goods are stored in bonded warehouses or foreign trade zones,
payments potentially benefit from tariff reductions and protect the business from violation of tariff changes. As a bond warehouse, discover now bonded warehouses work. Find out and the right of the business and learn more about the improve your bottom line. So I didn't know what they were called. But I do know there's warehouses, right? There's warehouses where you put your product in and they store it, right? Amazon does this. A lot of other people do this.
The tariff rates are applied at the time of withdrawal for
and you pay a a fee like a storage facility. Like if you put your shit in a storage facility, you would pay a monthly fee, right, to hold your shit.
Domestic consumption. What this means is that if Microsoft stores Xboxes in standard warehouses, the tariffs have already been paid when the consoles were delivered to the United States. At this time, there is no direct evidence of Microsoft using these bonded.
That's true. That's true, Titan. Right? Titan says back to normal prices during holiday sales. Right. We're going to give you a $100 gift card, right? $100 gift card, or they'll throw in like Game Pass for 3 months or 5 months or 6 months, whatever it is, right? They're going to make it look like, oh, you get this, and maybe they won't even lower the price. Maybe they'll lower it like $20, $30, but then give you Game Pass for 3 months or 6 months to make it look like a better deal than it is, even though you're overpaying by $170.
Warehouses or FTZs, although most tech companies that are actively importing goods tend to use FTZs to defer paying tariffs until the goods are needed. Okay, so at this point, before...
That's going to take a little bit, Quintar. That's going to take a little bit, because even if they wanted to make the product in the United States, which that's what Trump's trying to do, right? Trump is the reason he's putting these tariffs on the outside it's to get American companies to make their stuff in America. Okay, where other foreign countries are coming in to make their cars and stuff inside the actual America now, right? Honda's doing it. I think they're building a plant in Ohio, right? They're building a chip factory here, but it's going to take 2-3 years, right? So by the time they do that, by the time Microsoft builds their own facility where they can build the stuff, and even then they're going to raise the price because it's going to be higher at that price point, right? And this is all conditioning us right now. This is all conditioning because again, if let's say a box right now from China costs $600, but if they made the box in the United States, it would cost $800, right?
Before we get to Exhibit C, to summarize, because this already feels a little dense, customers are not paying pass-through prices on tariffs, which means Microsoft isn't applying these tariffs to their consoles at the customer's level. Then we talk about the warehouses. If the goods were already imported into the country before Trump applied the tariffs, then the rates are already paid for.
That's right.
Those consoles are squared off already.
That's correct. Which I've been saying for months. Months.
And so Exhibit C is...
Come on, Roadkill.
All the consoles are already in the United States. We're not paying pass-through tariffs because there are none to be applied. The Xbox Series lineup has sold terribly comparable to competitors.
Of course. Right? You want to be a Sony pony or you want to be an Xbox, that's fine, right? People that defend their consoles, okay? But know that even if Sony comes out and says, oh, well, the tariffs are applying and whatnot, you could at least kind of justify, well, Sony's selling much better than Xbox. But again, there's still Sony PlayStations in the country that are not sold out. You can go to a store right now and pick up one. And all of a sudden they raise the price $100. You're like, well, that's because of the tariffs. Bullshit, right? But you could say, well, Sony's selling more, so maybe the new product's coming in all the time, and then that's why they're selling the thing. But not the stuff that's already in the store. It's not retroactive. But Xbox to say that they're raising it, and you're like, oh, yeah, because they're selling a lot. They're not. They're not. They're still there. There's literally, go to your local BJ's. Go to your local Costco. Go look at the pallets that are already there. Hundreds, if not thousands of units sit there unsold.
Demand is so low on Xboxes that they're not importing more. They're literally trying to empty the warehouses that still have stock. United States Xbox Series sales.
PlayStation 5 bestseller. Excess sales dropped nearly 50% worldwide. Hardware estimate of January 2025 sales. Okay, down here it says PlayStation sales compared to the same month a year ago are down 423,461. That's a negative 31.1%. Xbox Series X sales are down by 199,089 units, which is down almost 50%. It was 48.7%. And Nintendo Switch sales are down 395,977 units, which was negative 41%. It should be noted that January 2025 is 4-week month, while January 2024 had 5 weeks.
Fell almost 50% as of January 2025 compared to January 2024, with similar sales drops around 30% in November of 24 and May of 25.
Well, that's a completely different problem, Jax. Jax says that the start of this gen, Xbox Series X was sold out, and the only S was available was also then marked down as low as 150. That's because they made that problem. The problem was they didn't want to sell the Xbox Series X. They didn't sell out. They didn't make them. They made very few and shipped very few over here because they wanted you into the digital version of the S. It's amazing. Make the problem, sell the solution. You want an Xbox right now, but you can't get an X. You have to get an S. And you have to get the S without the disk drive. Now you're stuck in the ecosystem, right? This was planned by design, not, oh, well, Xbox was so popular there was no Xbox Series X's. They did this by design.
Lifetime United States sales estimates are around 30 million units as of mid-2025. Comparatively, the Xbox One had sold around 41 million units in a similar time span. 2024 was Xbox's worst full-year United States performance, with only 2.7 million units sold.
Woo! Only 2 million sold, but it's also their best performance in Game Pass. So how does that work? There's more people with Game Pass than actual Xbox consoles.
That's a lot of statistics. Yeah, people aren't buying Xboxes. And that isn't new news.
No, they don't want you to buy an Xbox. And if you are, you're going to pay for 2 times of the Xbox.
We already knew this. What we didn't know is why the prices keep going up. But right here, we've already kind of proven it's not the tariffs, because demand isn't high enough to be importing all of the stock to warrant the tariffs being applied at all. Okay, so what else is there?
I love this scene that he's talking and fucking Chewbacca's in the scene with him.
What else is there to back up my claim? Exhibit D, Mike Ybarra, former vice president at Microsoft, posted on Twitter, quote, "Console price increases are not tariff issues."
That's the smartest thing Mike Ybarra has said. And he said some stupid shit in the past. Okay? But I actually agree with him because that's the actual truth. They're not tariff issues.
They are profit
That's
issues.
exactly right.
And the reason why profits are not where they should be is a far, far deeper issue versus the tariff excuse. Well, if the former vice president thinks so, I'm going to take his word for it, especially since we just went through a lot more of the evidence.
This is also the same guy that said that we should tip developers. So,
backing that up. Now, with that said, profit issue. There's a profit issue with Xbox? Is that true? We know that profit on console sales has consistently been a point of contention for both Sony and Microsoft. In the past, consoles sell at a loss and then become profitable later on in the product's lifespan.
correct. In the past, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Sega Dreamcast, Nintendo, they all had a loss. Even Xbox, the original Xbox, lost on the console itself, okay? And they made a crap ton of money on the software, okay? But now, because there's not exclusives, less exclusives, I should say, okay, there's no reason to buy the consoles anymore. And because there's no reason to buy the consoles anymore, okay, now there's just where I'm playing. Well, more people stay on the consoles they already have, and that's why there's backwards compatibility, because they want to play their games that they already own or have, so there's less people buying the next thing. And if they do buy the next thing, it's because of the backwards compatibility, so they can play their old games and also their new games. Well, now there's also the digital stuff, and people don't want the digital stuff. They want the actual physical disc, but more people buy the digital because they're not making the physical disc. There's so much that goes behind why they're doing this, right? So not only are they making money off of the actual consoles now, but they're also making more money off of each single game, because there's no plastic box or manual, there's no shipping, it's all digital, right? So wherever they split with GameStop or any other facility, there's no more splitting that. They make an additional, was it 33% on top of that, if not more, for each game they sell. So they're making more money off of each of the games. They're making more money off their consoles. They're making more money off of streaming service, because they're not doing anything except giving you the same games you already had digitally, okay? So they're making more money all over the place, and yet here they are crying, we need to make more money.
Video game companies routinely make profit on selling games, not the consoles per
That's not even including microtransactions and season passes and stuff.
se. The Xbox Series consoles are still considered to be selling at either a loss or at razor-thin margins as a deliberate loss leader, where they'll again make up the difference in subscriptions or game sales. So okay, Xbox Series consoles aren't profitable.
So that means if Xbox is losing because they didn't sell enough, that means PlayStation is also losing, because PlayStation is not making as many sales as they did. They're down from the last PlayStation of PlayStation 4.
Demand is low, despite the popularity of Game Pass services, but they have advertised that anything can be an Xbox now, and Microsoft is making strides to get Game Pass on as many systems as they can, even going so far as to launch a mobile.
Here's the thing that a lot of people don't talk about either, right? Once you download or have Microsoft, so let's say you have just a television set, right? And you have a Samsung TV or LG TV, and you have a monthly subscription, and you get Game Pass for a month. You play it on your television set, you're like, oh, cool. And then all of a sudden the DLC comes out. Let's say you got Indiana Jones, right? Indiana Jones, you played for Indiana Jones, and then you want to play Indiana Jones for the actual DLC. Well, now you rented Game Pass for a month, but you also bought the DLC. But now if you stop paying for that, let's say, and then you're like, I want to continue playing my DLC, you can't play the DLC unless you own the game. Well, that means they either have to get Game Pass for another month to play it, to finish it, or they buy the game. And if they buy the game at a discount rate, because now they have Game Pass, they give you like a 10%, 20% discount on it. So now you're going back, and now you still don't own that, because even if you bought the game and now bought the DLC, you still can't play it, because you still have to have a service to play Game Pass or Xbox on your television set. Right? So you're already in the ecosystem. So this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get as many people to get in the ecosystem at one time in their life or not. If you get it in January and February and then don't play again in March, April, May, June, but something else comes out, you're in the ecosystem. You already have sunk cost inside there if you bought the DLC or bought a Game Pass or bought a whatever it is. I meant to say Season Pass, right? You're in the ecosystem. So they have you. They have your information, okay? And since you gave them the information and you have an email address and they can sell that email address to somebody else for advertisers and whatever else, so they're just trying to subsidize your information at some point so they can sell that to advertisers down the road.
File system via a partnership with Asus for a special rogue ally. But funny enough, there's still a little more to the story. In an interview last month, Xbox head of design Carl Ledbetter discussed the current generation of Xbox hardware and specifically used a phrase, quote, as we wrap up the journey with the Xbox Series X and Series S, before continuing on with a bit more corporate speak discussing his philosophy. As we wrap...
Hold on, let me see what he says. As we wrap up this journey with the Xbox Series X and S, the mission behind the console echoes everything I've learned over 30 years to create technology that's powerful, purposeful, and beautiful, integrated into people's lives. That's exactly what they're saying, right? They've inserted, right, their Xbox, their journey for this system and what they've learned from this system, but integrate into people's lives. Integrate. Once it's integrated into your life, you need it. Like if someone took your cell phone away from you, that's integrated. So if you have an Android device or an Apple device, doesn't matter. Okay, if someone took that away from you, you would feel lost for a bit. Right? You'd be like, well, I can't check my emails, I can't check the stuff. I need that. It's a convenience. It's right. So you would purchase it and you would pay the money because so much relies on it. So if you're a gamer and your games are on the system or your games are on the television set or the iPad or the whatever it is, they've got you. You're integrated into people's lives. You need it. You want it.
With a bit more corporate speak discussing his philosophy. As we wrap up, the Xbox Series line is coming to an end. This isn't earth-shattering news either. Sony said the PlayStation 5 would be ending its run soon. It doesn't surprise me that Xbox is going to be making changes and trying to start with a fresh new line. But that doesn't answer the question. Why is Microsoft raising prices on consoles no one wants? We don't know when a new console is coming.
I think he's foreshadowing here because he's going to talk about the handheld. I think he's going to say the same thing I've been saying for the last couple months.
The next launch is slated to be that handheld system. Why raise the price $150? $650 is a ton of money to ask for a console that isn't flying off the shelves already. My friends, I don't think this has a damn thing to do with the Xbox Series consoles. I think it has everything to do with conditioning and establishing a new baseline of Xbox console prices in preparation for their upcoming console.
That's correct. Let's back up there. Let me hear that again.
Do with the Xbox Series consoles. I think it has everything to do with conditioning and establishing a new baseline of Xbox console prices in preparation for their upcoming console.
Yeah, because if you, like I said, and you can go back to GXG, I gotta go find it. I know I talked about it, okay? That they're raising the prices. I think I want to say it back in May when I said it, okay? When they raised the price the first time, I said the reason they're raising the prices is because we still don't know the price of the handheld, okay? But if it is $650, which I said was stupid, I think it should be in the price line of what Nintendo is spending, right, or selling $450 to $500. If it's $450, $500, flies off the shelf. But it can't. Obviously, this is why they're raising the Series X, because the X is the highest tier of the Xbox system ecosystem, and the S is the lowest. And if this handheld is sort of like the S, but a little bit higher than the S, but lower than the X, they can't have this price point be as high as the X. They have to raise it up.
This actually isn't a crazy hypothesis at all. Let's just take it from the top here. Microsoft is the second richest company in the world right now as of recording.
Wow, NVIDIA surpassed them, huh? Jesus, look at that. 4.3 trillion. Microsoft, 3.8 trillion. Apple, 3.6 trillion. Google, 3 trillion. That's a lot of trillions. There was only 3 trillions before. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, $8 trillion companies.
this. We know they have a profit problem with their consoles, and we know they have the capital to wait out any final life cycle sales problems with the Xbox Series lineup. We know that the entire video game industry has been trying to raise their prices this year on everything. We know that this is entirely artificial and has little to actually do with Trump economics, as we've discussed at the beginning of this video. Microsoft is well known for their attempts at price gouging. Remember when they tried to raise the price of Xbox Live Gold from
Oh, yeah. Oops. No, that was a mistake. We didn't mean to do that.
$60 to $120 back in 2021? Just because? For funsies? And just this year, they attempted to jump their Xbox games from $70 to $80, starting with The Outer Worlds 2, but failed colossally because, let's be real, no one was buying the "capitalism is bad" simulator for $80. That's like the word jumbo shrimp, you know?
yeah, it's an oxymoron, right? That's what it's called, right? Jumbo shrimp.
Oh, it's an oxymoron.
Yeah,
but
it is it. Okay.
Okay, let's look at that Rogue Ally Xbox handheld. The lower model is $550, while the Ally X is clocking in at $900. Obviously, the handheld on those prices alone are more than the current
Wait, do we know the price? Do we know the price of those handhelds?
$50, while the Ally Xbox handheld, the lower model, is $550.
Is that official, or is that rumored price?
While the Ally X is clocking in at $900.
$900 for a handheld. These guys have lost their mind. They have lost their mind. Double the price if the other one's $550.
Obviously, the handheld on those prices alone are more than the current Xbox Series X consoles. Now, if we think about it, the handheld can't be more expensive than the mainline system itself. I mean,
no, it would be stupid if it was. If you're paying more for them than the hard console in your house is ridiculous. The convenient factor and portability does not justify that.
it can, but why do that when profit is a main issue? They're trying to raise prices to match the handheld price points. That's number one.
This is one of the reasons I said over a year ago, when everyone's like, oh, Xbox is going to make a handheld, I said they would team up with somebody, which they did. Okay. And I know they're working on their own, but working on their own, they would lose more money. Okay. They would lose more money than anything, because if they're losing money now on the hard systems, the consoles, then they're going into a handheld market, which is going to be flooded with handhelds. They think they're going to be the best handheld out there. It's a bold move. I don't think it's going to work. He said the Ally, not the Xbox Ally.
Like the word jumbo shrimp, you know? It's an oxymoron, but okay. Let's look at that Rogue Ally Xbox handheld.
Didn't he just say it? Am I wrong there, Z? Let's rewind again. Let me just make sure.
Oxymoron, but okay. Let's look at that Rogue Ally Xbox handheld. The lower model is $550, while the Ally X is clocking in at $900. Obviously, the handheld on those prices alone are more than the current Xbox Series X consoles. Now, if we think about it, the handheld can't be more expensive than the mainline system itself. I mean, it can, but why do that when profit is a main issue? They're trying to raise prices to match the handheld price points. That's number one. Number two, if there really is another console on the way, they're going to try to squeeze every ounce of controversy out of this tariff story as they can to get the current console price to the highest point they can, so that they could supersede that on the next generation.
I don't know, because the handhelds will be consoles as they docked, so the prices of will be more closely related to each other. Problem is that dock that might come in, they better support the 1080p, 2K, 4K type stuff, Because if not, then they're going down in resolution. You're asking for more money for lower resolution.
Console line. In other words, because I know that was a lot, the next console generation always costs more than the one before it. And we're living in an economic time where corporations are frivolously increasing prices and then hiding behind macroeconomic conditions, current events, and Trump politics. And it's almost all bullshit.
It is all bullshit. 100% is all bullshit.
And in defense of the corporations, I can't believe I'm saying it,
yeah, but you don't know that for sure, Z. You're saying the dock GPU upgrade version, which I think is the way they should go instead of building these consoles. So they're meal piecing you a shittier version of the console. So not only are you paying more money, but you're paying more money for a shittier version, and you're breaking it apart. Meaning I have to buy, okay, the dock and also the console, right? Instead of just giving me the console I can hook up to the stuff.
Market, meaning the
good luck to them. Good luck to them.
Buyers keep caving when the corporations do this. A good example of that is COVID-19. During COVID times, every major corporation in the world said, hey, the world is shut down right now and things are unpredictable.
Shittier and everyone 1080p and 30 frames a second. Right. But here's the problem. Right now, 67 million people on PlayStation and an additional 40 million to 50 million people on Xbox haven't upgraded from Xbox One and PlayStation 4. That's 110 million people, 90 to 110 million people that have not upgraded to this system because they were $400 and $500. So now we think that this 67 and 45 million people, okay, are all of a sudden magically going to come over and buy a handheld device, meal piecing their system together so they can get a shittier experience for more money. I don't know. I don't think that's going to work out for them. Because not only are they not getting those people to come buy their new system, they're going to lose the people that have these systems buying the next systems.
Predictable. We need to raise prices on goods because supply chain has been interrupted. And what happened? The prices went up. Demand did not go down. Purchases were still made at the higher prices. We bought the goods. And then all those companies in the midst of the pandemic years reported record profits. So someone was lying back then. Was it everyone? Well, it's the same thing.
Robert Jones says handhelds are to consoles what gaming laptops are to PCs. Well, no. Now what it would be is handhelds are to consoles as laptops are to gaming handhelds. It's like, why would I go buy a handheld device when I can go buy a small laptop for half the price and still play my games? If Xbox is play anywhere, then why do I need to bring it? I have this. I don't need a handheld device. I have my phone. Like 4 billion people have cell phones. Why am I going to go buy a $900 device when I already have a $900 device right here?
Trump's economy is wrecking the video game industry, except they haven't really proven it. How? Why? What are you doing to mitigate these issues? We never get full transparency, and this isn't just the video games industry. It's all major corporations that are just trying to increase their profits. It's not a tariff problem.
Nope.
It's a profit problem.
Yeah, it's a profit problem. 100%. 100%.
And that translates down to you and I. If we decide to continue doing business with Microsoft for Xbox products, we'll need to pay more for less. There is no increase in value delivered back to the customers
100%.
here.
There is no value. Z says exactly. Play anywhere. They're pushing everybody to think more along the lines of streamlined game experience, and any device of premium people will play for newer stuff. Yeah, but that's already a set. We already know that. We've talked about that over and over. Okay, obviously, 20% makes 80%. Obviously, the early adopters, the people that bought the Nintendo Switch 2, the people that bought the PlayStation 5 Pro, which is 1%, 2%. If they want to do that, cool. You're not going to get the majority, okay, of people to buy a $900 handheld system. You're not. You're not. The greed is going to get to a point where people are like, nah, I'll go do something else. I'll go do something else. I'll go outside and play ball. I'll go play cornhole. I'll do anything else because these companies are way too greedy. Way too greedy. You're paying, people are complaining about 60 frames per second. You're not going to get that on the handheld devices. You think they're going to optimize for the consoles or optimize for the handhelds and not optimize for the consoles? They're not optimizing now. You think they're going to optimize for another system to put into the field? Phil Spencer said, "Oh yeah, well the S is, if it runs on the S, it'll run on the handheld." Cool, right? But less people are going to play your games. Less people will be buying games. Less people will be playing your games. This only stops if people stop buying shittier products for more money.
But we're still paying more, which leads to an obvious conclusion. There is not a single reason to buy an Xbox.
That's exactly right.
Time to get those gaming PCs, boys. Until now.
Why would I spend $900 on a handheld or a console when I can get a new PC? It's very specific of, well, I travel a lot and I want to play my games. Cool. You got a cell phone and you can play your games anywhere. Okay? Or, well, I have this big 75-inch television set in my house. I have a nice couch. I have a nice thing, but my wife wants to watch Netflix on it, so I have to play on this 7-inch screen. What? What? You paid $300 for your television set, okay? $300 to $600 for your television set. You paid $600 for your thing, so for $1,200, you have a television set and the console, but now you're going to pay $900 to play on a 7-inch screen. Get the fuck out of here with this. What are we talking about?
Next time, create, innovate, inspire, and for the love of God, cancel Disney Plus.
Well, it's funny he says that now because it is actually people, that is trending. It is trending, right? It's so stupid to me that everyone's like, oh yeah, that'd be fine. You know, let's pay $900 for a shittier product. It makes no fucking sense. Oh yeah, I want to play 60 frames per second, right? I can play 4K and stuff on my cell phone, but I don't want to play on a small screen. When I travel, I'm on an airplane, maybe I'm in the back of a car, whatever, right? In my personal experience, I don't need a handheld. If I get a handheld, that means I'm not playing on the giant screen that I purchased or the expensive PC rig I have. So it's like, why would I do that? Why would I pay more for a shittier version of what I already have? Use GeForce Now on the tablet when I travel for work. Right. It's such a niche thing. Be like, well, I'll just do that when I travel. That's cheaper. You could do that. What? How much does GeForce Now cost per month to make up for the time, right? For the time that you would be playing or traveling. Now, if you travel 240, obviously you probably wouldn't play GeForce Now. If you traveled 250 days a year like I used to, I probably would get a handheld because it would fit my thing. But 90% of the people that play games play it on their television sets and their home consoles or PCs. So them buying a handheld device is just because they want the cool new tech, which is cool, but that's the small percentage of the population. Hence why the Steam Deck, what do they sell? Right? What do they sell? Let me look up the Steam Deck prices. $4 million units, right? Valve's Stream Deck has sold an estimated 4 million units. Now, I know people will be like, well, it's not mass marketed and stuff like that. No, that's the niche community. That is the people that own a PlayStation, own a PC, own an Xbox, and are like, you know what? I like the new tech. They have the headsets for the VR. They buy the handheld devices. It's a very, very small population that's going to buy this thing, especially at $900, if that's what the case is. Right here, I'll show you. Yeah. 4 million units, February of 2025, according to the market research, IDC. Z says, I just moved my Galactic Survivors game to big screen for my Steam Deck. It was much more fun, better to play. Of course it is. Of course it is. Why would you want to play on a small screen if you have a giant screen? Why would you pay a crap ton of money to have a really good 4K display if it's a 27-inch monitor or if it's a fucking 55, 65, 75, 85, 105 television set just so your wife or significant other can sit on the couch, watch their movie, and you're playing on a 7-inch screen? That's ridiculous. Z says, they just designed a larger backbone that can also use my 13-inch tablet. Should be awesome if I have one to do portable. Clip says, have you seen all the news about Switch 2 sales have dropped dramatically? It's like we were right or something, and the early adopters for the Nintendo. Yeah, well, that's exactly what it'd be. What did they sell? Do we know what their total sales are? It's like 4 to 5 million. Did they tell it what the sales were? Let's see. Do they have... Yeah, okay, so the Switch 2 has sold exceptionally well since the launch in 2025, surpassing 6 million units. Now, I would have to go back to what I exactly said. I don't remember what I said, but I could have sworn I said it would sell anywhere between 4 to 6 million units. It sold 6 million. It'll probably sell more than that. Obviously, the holiday season and whatnot coming out, okay? Which is fantastic, but that number will drop dramatically, right? Because you're not going to consistently sell that many because the price is too high and where the economy is right now. That could change, obviously. It's a trajectory of what's going on. But these are the early adopters. Some of them I already know people that own multiple Switch 2s. Multiple. Because they bought it for themselves, they bought it for their kids, they bought it for their wife, right? They have one, and they bought one for the family, right? And this is with any product. Doesn't matter if you're buying shoes and you're Adidas guys or Nike guys, you buy multiple pairs of shoes, or you buy multiple televisions because you like Samsung or LG or whatever. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to replace all the TVs in my house. Boom. You buy 3 LGs or 3 Samsungs or whatever, right? Because that's what they like. They're dependable. You're like, hey, I'm going to pay this. I did really good. You buy a car. The next car you buy, it might be the same type of car because it's dependable. You like your things. The hardcore people that like Nintendo are going to buy Nintendo, right? It's not a... Overall, 150 million people, 52 million people own a Nintendo Switch. 6 million people bought a Nintendo Switch 2 as of right now. Right? Even if you keep the 6 million, okay? It says here, project selling 15 million Switch 2 units by the end of March of 2026. So in the first year, 15 million. All right, so let's just take that. Let's take that number, 15 million. Let's say it says 15 million the first year. Okay, 15 times 7. That's 105. 105. Right now, the Switch 1 has been out for what, 7 years? 7 years, it's 52 million units. If they keep up the 15 million units every year for Nintendo Switch 2, they're shy 50 million units. I said they keep that number up. Crowd says fucking lemmings can't stop giving Nintendo Gestapo money. I love my Galaxy Arc TV. What is that? Galaxy Arc TV? I gotta look that up. Galaxy Art TV. Was that a Samsung? Is it a Samsung that looks like a picture frame? Is that what that is? Eleni? World says Nintendo has been go to since I was younger. Haven't bought a Switch 2 yet because the price are ridiculous. Right. And no one, at least I would never look at someone and go, "What, you can't afford it, brokey?" It's just too expensive. It's egregious greed from these companies, raising all the prices of their handhelds, raising the price of the Joy-Cons, raising the price of the video games. I saw a TV. We went to a restaurant recently, and I saw the TV. I swear to God, it was as thin as like 2 or 3 credit cards put together. It was ridiculously thin. I was like, holy shit. You guys are talking about Deep Rock Galactic, right? Galactic Survivor, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. It's a fantastic game. I talked about it on GXG on Thursday. Let's see here. Jason says, I really want to Switch 2, but the price for games are ridiculous, and Nintendo really does sales. Yeah, because they know their product. They know their product. And obviously, they would rather milk, and this is the same thing Apple does, Nintendo does, and Sony does. Instead of going out and getting more customers, okay? So I used to work for Apple, and they used to sell a shit ton of stuff, okay? Some would say sell like hotcakes, okay? And then when Steve Jobs died, they lost a lot of people because of customer service and a bunch of stuff. They lost me. I was a huge, worked for Apple, loved Apple products, did a lot of editing with Apple, had multiple laptops and whatnot. Till about 5-6 years ago, I switched over back to PC because of Apple just didn't give a shit anymore. So what Apple decided to do about, shortly after Steve Jobs passed was instead of like getting new customers, they just keep getting the same customers, and they have an ecosystem. So if a person buys, the iPhone, they're going to buy the earbuds and the pencil and the iPad and the new PC and the new high-end PC and the new whatever they come out with. That's their core audience. And I'm not making fun of this in any way, shape, or form, right? A successive business is even on YouTube, right? I don't need 1 million subscribers. All I need is 1,000 loyal people, right? That come and watch my shows and watch the ads and give super chats or buy a piece of gear or whatever, right? Apparel, right? That's it, right? They have to find the same people. And what Sony, Apple, and Nintendo do is they constantly dip them back in. This is why you have people that buy a PlayStation, then they buy the PlayStation 5, right? Then they buy the PlayStation 5 Pro. Then they bought the VR headset. Then they bought the Portal, right? It's not that they're selling a shit ton of stuff, but you can see who the hardcore people are by the sales of other stuff. So how many PlayStation 5 sold, right, when they came out? Then you look at that and go, okay, well, those are the hardcore PlayStation 5 guys. Then how many people bought and switched from a PlayStation 5 to a PlayStation 5 Pro? And then from those people, right, because those are the diehards now, if they went from PlayStation 5 to PlayStation 5 Pro. So now you look at the PlayStation 5 Pro, and then how many people bought a headset for the VR2? How many people bought the Portal? When you have someone that has the PlayStation 5, the Portal, and the headset, that is the hardcore audience. So that might be 1 million people, that might be 2 million people, that might be 3 million people. That is the core audience of that. Okay? Same with Nintendo. Nintendo Switch 2, but what are they selling? How many Nintendo Switch 2s did they buy? How many copies of the game did they buy? How many, right? This is the same thing, right? The people that are buying the little adapter piece for the Nintendo, I forget what it's called. You know what I'm talking about. The red headset was like green. You could take your Switch now and put it into the actual thing. I forget what it's called. It's that. Is it VR? I forget what it was called. Never owned it as a kid. It was an absolute piece of garbage. My friend had it. Okay? Those are hardcore people. The hardcore people will buy that just to have that experience again. Same with Apple. Apple puts something out, they're like, oh, I'm going to buy that because not only are they diehards of that brand, but now they're also in that ecosystem. Virtual Boy. That's it. Thank you very much, Titan. That's it. All right, so we talked about the tariffs that are not the tariffs. We watched Real Fake Wizard. Real Fake Wizard will be on the show again during the holiday when we watch the Video Game Award show. As of right now, it'll be me, Sarge, Kingard, and the Real Fake Wizard. We'll be watching the Video Game Award show on December 11th when it comes out. Now, they haven't even announced the actual people or the awards yet, but December 11th is when it airs. It airs on Thursday night, usually when we have the GXG podcast. So Kingard and Real Fake Wizard will be on the show. I'm trying to get Greg Owen back on the show, so it'll be like a whole like panel as we watch it. So that should be fun. That should be fun. We did it last year, and we're going to do it again this year. House says, I'm still reeling over the price of Nintendo games. I can't believe it. The price of a handheld is reasonable compared to that. Switch 2 is too expensive, and there are also no games calling me to buy it. Well, they have, what, Metroid Prime 4 coming out, which is going to be on both systems, right? Switch 1 and 2. I regret switching to an iPhone. Here's the thing. The reason that I liked Apple back in the day was just it was easier to use, and there was less hacks and stuff like that. Plus, when my mom got a smartphone to help her out, if she had something different than me, it'd be super complicated. It'd be like, hey, you got to go to here, you got to do this. As of right now, sometimes when she needs help or my dad needs help, it's complicated, and it's the exact same screen. So I'm like, just go to the upper right-hand corner, just click on this. They're like, I don't know where it is. But it makes it super simple to use, and that's why I'm like in that ecosystem, right? So like right now, I have an iPhone. My parents have iPhones. My son has an iPod plus an iPad, right? So like it just makes it convenient because you're in that ecosystem. If we ever leave that ecosystem, it would be huge. If we ever went to Android, I have to move all my photos, right? I've used move all my photos over, save them, download them, print them out, whatever, because they want you in that system. They want you in that ecosystem. The clip says, playing a game called Mega Bonk. If you're a fan of Vampire Survivor type games, it's one of the best, and it's so addicting. Well, check it out. Robert Jones says, I might go to the iPhone when Android locks us down. Titan says, what I don't like is apps exclusive to the App Store. Basically, need an iPhone. Oh, I hate that, Titan. I noticed it recently because I was looking at certain games. I was like, oh, let me see what games are on the iPhone. I go to the App Store, and it says, oh, this game's on there, and you want to play it? Oh, got to get, what is it, Apple Games. You have to subscribe to Apple Games, whatever it is. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm not getting another subscription service to play your game, so I just won't play it. There's a barrier there. There's a barrier there, and I don't want it. Let me just play your game. Let me trial, and if I like it, I'll pay $2.99, $3.99. What is it called? It's called Mega Bonk. All right, let me look this up. Mega Bonk.
Oh no! My one weakness! Slight elevation!
This is it? This is the game?
Jump, then it's a little bit annoying to get all of that. Let's go for difficulty. Let's go for another chest.
So it's a 3D version of Vampire Survivor?
Let's go for difficulty. I have to be careful though, because I can't jump, right? So I can't outmaneuver the enemies easily. Let's go for difficulty. Good that you just said that, Dex. One thing
sometimes the most simplistic games are the most addictive games.
That I'm really looking for, and I hope we get that, is power-up chance.
I might give this a shot. I might have to give this a shot. Yeah, I love it being an Android, but I also heard that there's also going to be the same direction, apparently. You won't be able to download stuff unless it's on the Play Store in the future. Oh, they're going that direction, huh? Interesting. Is this on? Is this just on a free-to-play game? Is this a on Xbox, PlayStation? Like, where's this game at? that I heard that the news from the same YouTuber that told you to change your avatar to Clippy. It's so addicting. I played for 4 hours. Didn't even realize it. Interesting. Might have to give it a shot. All right, what time is it? 12 o'clock? All right. We are done for the morning show here. It's like $8 right now on Steam. I don't know if it's on console. It's controller support, though. I'll check it out. Check it out. Oh, that's right. Before I go, I played the Space Jump, right? I played Space Jump. I tried the trial, the 1 hour trial on console. I like it. I thought it was pretty good. It's hard. It's a definitely rogue-like-esque. So it's sort of like, I'll actually compare it to Helldivers a little bit, or RoboQuest a little bit, right? So it's like the gunplay from like RoboQuest, not as fast. But you get in a ship, repair the ship, go on little missions. And on the mission, there's different paths you can take. So think about like Helldivers. Helldivers, when you do a mission, there's 3 points. And to complete the bonus and stuff like that, you have to complete all 3. And one's like 12 minutes, one's like 15 minutes, one's like 40 minutes, and they all different types of stuff. In Space Jump, you're going on different missions, and one could be 10 minutes, one could be 40 minutes, one could be 30 minutes, whatever it is. And you're going on this like little adventure. And you could go out and try to find abandoned ships, or you're going on space stations and fighting NPCs and stuff like that. I enjoyed it. I got to the part where I had the bot with me, and Mr. Bot, whatever his name is, so I was playing. I didn't play with anybody. The game seems like it would actually be pretty fun with a group of people, but at the same time, the 2 downsides that I think I have with it is that it doesn't feel complete. Like, there's something missing about it, okay? I think it's there. It feels like Deep Rock Galactic a little bit. It feels like Helldivers a little bit. It feels like if it has a lot of nice little things to Space Jump. 2 things that are a turnoff for me is that no crossplay as of right now. Okay, they said they might add it later. The roadmap that we talked about, I think it was last week or a week and a half ago. I think I'm going to wait for that, at least one more update, right? One more update before I decide to pay for it. Now, it's $20. I don't think that's a bad price for what I paid or what I played, right, for the trial. I was like, oh, this game seems pretty good. It seems like there's about 8 or 9 different types of missions or what. I feel like once you do it, it would feel a little repetitive. That's why I would wait for more missions. So even if it is repetitive, you're doing multiple things, and it would get less repetitive because there's more of it. Sort of like, this is what I mean, like Helldivers. Like if I'm going to do the gas mission or blow up bunkers or do certain things, it doesn't feel as repetitive because you're bouncing across different things and not doing the same mission all the time, right? Sort of like that was the problem with Marvel's Avengers back in the day. Marvel's Avengers was like the same job over and over, same mission over and over, and you knew where everything was. So that's what keeps it kind of fresh. So I kind of like Space Jumpers, but I think I'm going to wait. It's $20. $20 is $20. Not really a big deal. I just feel like the game's missing something, and I feel like that next update they do in, if it's October or November, that first update that they do will bring a lot more value to the game, but they really, really need to figure out the crossplay. If you don't do crossplay in that game, it's just on your system, or I'm sorry, they have it'll probably be like PlayStation and Xbox, and not crossplay with the PC. I think they need to add it. I do. I think they need to add it because a game like that would be more fun with a lot more people. And if half your friends are on PC and the other half are on console, it's just breaking up the player base. In 2025, with a game like that, I think you need crossplay. So, Altern says, right, it felt like it was 2 when I played the demo. Yeah, I'm glad they gave a demo, by the way. $20 game and they gave a demo, which is huge. More games should do that, okay? Because I'm intrigued with the game. I want to get the game. I just don't want to get the game now because it's early access, and it just feels like it's missing something, which I appreciate that, though, that they gave me a demo to test it out before I purchased it. Hal says, a game like Space Jump really needs crossplay at launch. 100%. Again, it's not launched, though. It's in early access. So keep that in mind, right? By the time it comes out, I hope they have crossplay. Yeah, I got a feeling that it will come out when they do a server browser. That would make more sense. It's also region price lock. That's awesome. There you go. So, all right. That's going to do it for me for the daily grind today on this Monday. I appreciate you guys coming out. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. It helps us out dramatically if you hit that like button. If you'd like to share the episode or help out the channel by giving super chats, a thanks, or a hype. I don't even know what they do anymore. I don't even know how the hype works. I think it's for, I don't know if it's for live streams or for after uploads. You can also listen to our music. We got a couple of one album, couple songs, singles out there as well. Other than that, we'll be back in about 30 or 40 minutes to play some Helldivers with Mr. Luke. Appreciate it very much. Hit that like button, like I said, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. We're nitty tuned in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Laughs and news, our winning blend, the show with you, our dearest friend. Comments rolling, chats alive, the daily grind, 5-star vibe. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Good morning, sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Come on in, your morning fix. Your morning